I'm going to show you what I think of as a culinary parlor trick, which is how to make whipped cream even faster than your appliances can. What you're going to need is the right equipment. You need to have a big round whisk and a bowl that nearly fills. It's important, otherwise it's going to take you a long time to whip your cream. So start with this, and here's what you do next. I'm going to whip 2 cups of heavy cream, but quantity doesn't really matter. The cream will last for a little while in the refrigerator, not very long, but it'll last a day or two. I'm going to add some sugar. Again, you're adding sugar to taste. So I'm going to add maybe a couple of tablespoons of sugar and a little bit of vanilla. I'm not even really measuring this. This is it's a scant teaspoon. Again, it's to taste. So we're going to start whisking it. Good exercise for your arms. You probably will want to switch arms. I do. But this is really, really fast. It starts to thicken almost immediately. Not that strong. Look, it's, I don't even think it's been a minute. So great. I love doing this. Sometimes when I could use the machine very easily, I have everything all set up in my kitchen, I just whisk it by hand anyway. I mean, look, this is basically ready. And of course, the thicker it gets, the more elbow grease you need. And sometimes if I know that I'm going to and sometimes I know if this is going to be sitting in the refrigerator for a few hours, I want to whisk it so it's on the thick side. When you buy this type of pastry bag, it's adaptable for any size tip, so it's sealed at the end and you need to cut it where you need it. I'm going to use a large tip, and I know from experience where I need to cut it. Better to cut too little than too much. So I'm going to cut off the end, like that. And this is really very easy. Even kids can do it, and they absolutely love it. So your tip is going to come in 3 pieces. You have this that needs to match the size of the metal tip that you're using. Sometimes these tips actually are made of plastic. And these 2 pieces are going to fit together. And once it's inside the bag, you're going to screw a ring on to hold it secure. And I have to tell you kind of a funny story about the time that I decided to skip that step. I just put the tip into the end of my pastry bag. I was doing a cooking demonstration in front of a group. I just put the tip in, gave it a good squeeze, and the tip shot out across the room. It was really very funny, and I have never done that again. So I learned from my mistake. It was pretty funny. Everybody thought it was hilarious. And obviously I did too, since I'm telling you this story. So first you want the tip to go in. And I'm going to balance it on that. I could put them in separately. The tip is going to drop down. You know that you've cut a large enough piece off the end as long as it's not interfering with the opening of the metal tip. So we've got the tip, we've got the plastic base for it, and now we're going to screw on the ring to hold everything secure, and so you don't have any mishaps in the kitchen or embarrass yourself in front of a crowd. Now the next thing to do to fill the bag is to turn the end of the bag down over your hand. This lets you hold it securely. You can turn it down as much as you like, because as it gets full, you can just move your hand up. And now we have the whipped cream, and we're just going to fill the bag with whipped cream. and just press it in there. And I'm not putting all the whipped cream in right now. If I were going to be using all the whipped cream, then of course I would. If you work in batches, it's not easy to refill the bag, so it's best to do it all at once because otherwise the top gets messy, and it would be best, if you're going to work in batches, to start with a clean bag each time. And then all you do is tighten this. There are all shapes and sizes of tips for all different purposes. I've chosen what's called a closed star tip. It's called a closed star because the ends of the tip are curved in. If the ends were like this, it would be called an open star tip. I'll show you what a closed star tip looks like. A closed star tip is great for decorating cakes or garnishing desserts. You can make small dots or large swirls. I'll show you. Like that. Or a larger one. Like that. And I'm going to garnish a plate of Bananas Foster. Doesn't have much syrup on it. And we're going to decorate the plate like this. Like that. And decorate the plate like that. If you decide you want a little more, that's very easy to do. You never have too much whipped cream, right? And I think we will garnish it with a couple of slices of candied orange. Like that. And like that. All ready to serve.